The Reverend's daughter stands naked in a stranger's arms. Her father's curses echoing through the church as the giant cowboy lifts her onto his horse. She has abandoned everything for a man whose name she barely knows. The unforgiving Arizona heat blazed down upon Silver Springs. Within the pristine white chapel, Emma Grace Whitfield bowed her head in devotion, pale fingers interlaced, blonde locks secured beneath a plain bonnet. 22 summers had passed without her experiencing a man's embrace, without passion stirring within her, without challenging the rigid expectations her father imposed. Reverend Marcus Whitfield governed his family and flock with unwavering strictness cloaked in biblical doctrine. His daughter would remain virtuous, compliant, untainted until he selected an appropriate match. Emma Grace had resigned herself to this destiny until Wyatt Steele arrived. Hoofbeats drew Emma Grace's attention upward. Through the chapel's arched windows, she observed a solitary horseman approaching astride the most magnificent stallion she'd witnessed. The rider himself commanded attention, standing well over 6 feet of pure strength and bronzed flesh, his powerful frame straining against his trail-worn clothing. An unfamiliar sensation tightened deep in Emma Grace's core. Warmth spread across her face as awareness struck she was openly staring. She forced her gaze downward to resume prayer, yet concentration eluded her. Her thoughts circled only around glimpsing his features, hearing his voice, feeling his eyes upon her. Wyatt Steele had seen 35 years, made his fortune raising cattle in Montana Territory, and traveled south seeking additional grazing land. Upon seeing her framed in that chapel window, his plans dissolved. Their gazes locked through the glass, awakening something raw and claiming within Wyatt. He desired her with an intensity that defied reason. Emma Grace's resolve crumbled. When he pivoted toward her, those amber eyes found hers, tilting her reality. His look penetrated her modest garments as though he perceived the woman beneath, as though she already belonged to him and he merely awaited the claiming. Emma Grace's breathing quickened. She understood the impropriety, knew her father's punishment would be severe for watching a stranger so brazenly. Yet she remained frozen, returning his stare while something forbidden and intoxicating stirred within. For the first time, Emma Grace Whitfield comprehended true temptation. She recognized her powerlessness against it. That evening, sequestered in her chamber, Emma Grace wrestled with thoughts of the cowboy. Her hand drifted downward instinctively, discovering sensations previously unknown. Imagining his touch instead of her own, rapture crashed through her pulsing waves, leaving her breathless and astonished. Guilt consumed her instantly. Despite her tears soaking the pillow, she understood herself transformed. Morning brought voices from the chapel, her father's clipped tone and that unmistakable deep timbre. Acting on impulse, she entered. Wyatt Steele faced her father, hat respectfully removed. "I've come regarding your daughter. I'm requesting permission to court her." The Reverend's complexion darkened dangerously. "Leave my chapel and my town. My daughter is virtuous and righteous, destined for a godly man of my selection." Wyatt's focus shifted to Emma Grace, his expression posing an unspoken question. "What do you desire?" Emma Grace summoned courage she didn't know she possessed. Meeting her father's glare, she declared, "I want to know him." "You're no daughter of mine," the Reverend hissed. "Remove yourself from my presence." Wyatt's palm enclosed Emma Grace's hand. "We'll depart together then." They emerged into brilliant sunshine. Wyatt lifted her effortlessly onto his mount, his arm securing her waist. As they departed Silver Springs, Emma Grace refused to glance backward. "There's no returning, little dove," Wyatt's voice resonated against her ear. "You belong to me now." Days passed traversing unforgiving desert terrain. Wyatt described his Montana ranch and their future together. Under starlight, he introduced her to physical pleasure, his touch and kisses revealing her body's capacity, elevating her to ecstasy beyond imagination. Tomorrow evening, Wyatt vowed after drawing shuddering release from her with expert fingers, "I'll make you my wife. Then I'll spend the entire night showing you what belonging to me truly means." Upon reaching Timber Ridge, Wyatt located the local minister. The ceremony was modest, just the couple and the minister's wife witnessing. When Emma Grace spoke her vows, she meant every word. That night within their rented room, Wyatt consummated their union. Brief discomfort yielded to overwhelming pleasure as Wyatt moved within her, possessing her completely. Throughout the darkness hours, he loved her repeatedly, demonstrating every expression of passion between husband and wife. Dawn found Emma Grace exhausted, bearing love's marks, scarcely able to stand. She'd never experienced such fulfillment. 2 weeks onward, they reached Wyatt's Montana property. The timber-built home nestled among sweeping hills with mountain peaks beyond. It embodied beauty, wilderness, and freedom, everything Emma Grace never realized she craved. She mastered cooking for ranch workers, horsemanship, marksmanship, and frontier survival. Labor proved demanding, but each evening Wyatt held her, loved her, reminded her why she'd chosen this path. Winter's arrival brought the realization she carried his child. Sharing the news brought tears to both their eyes. Spring delivered their son, Benjamin. Years later, with 4 children playing outside and the ranch flourishing, Emma Grace reflected on that pivotal chapel moment when she chose her path. She'd possessed sufficient courage to follow her heart, to trust the imposing cowboy with whiskey-colored eyes. As sunset painted the Montana peaks, Emma Grace stood upon the porch within her husband's embrace, observing their children at play. This constituted her existence, now abundant with love and joy, honest labor and simple contentment. Certain loves are predetermined, inscribed in the heavens, ordained when 2 souls recognize their match. Emma Grace had sensed it when their gazes first connected. Wyatt had known equally. Together they'd constructed something magnificent, something enduring, something warranting every risk undertaken.